Welcome back. Michigan has become the most heated battleground against the lockdown orders in America, with heavily armed protesters staging angry demonstrations right outside of Governor Gretchen Whitmer's office. And she joins us live now from Michigan to tell us why she is continuing on the path that she's on. Thanks for being here, Governor. I want to ask you, Michigan has the fourth highest number of coronavirus deaths in the country. And not only are you trying to keep everyone safe, but you're also dealing with armed protesters against your stay-at-home orders. These protesters, are they hindering the state's ability to contain the virus in any way?
Well, I'll start with this. Michigan is a state of almost 10 million people, and the vast majority of people in my state are doing the right thing, and they are taking this seriously. I am going to stay tethered to the science, the epidemiology. I'm going to make decisions based on facts, not based on, political rhetoric or tweets for that matter. We're going to stay focused because what we're doing is working. We have seen our trajectory drop. We have seen our ability to test ramp up, and the number of positives continue to decline. What we're doing is working. So these protests, they do undermine the effort. And it's very clearly a political statement that is playing out where people are coming together from across the state. They are congregating. They are not wearing masks. They are not staying 6 feet apart. And then they go back home into communities. And the risk of perpetuating the spread of COVID-19 is real. We've seen it happen. And that's why, while I respect people's right to dissent, they need to do it in a way that is responsible and does not put others at risk.
Governor, I was really struck by the fact that you've described the protests as some of the worst racism and awful parts of our history. And you even said that there were swastikas, Confederate flags, and nooses present. On a recent call, you asked Vice President Pence if he could discourage the protesters. Do you think you will get his support? And given Trump's tweets to liberate Michigan, make a deal with protesters, do you feel the administration is helping fuel the fire here?
Well, I do think that the fact of the matter is these protests, in a perverse way, make it likelier that we're going to have to stay in a stay-home posture. The whole point of them, supposedly, is that they don't want to be doing that. And that's why I'm asking that everyone with a platform call on people to do the right thing. These have been really political rallies where people come with Confederate flags and Nazi symbolism and calling for violence. This is not appropriate in a global pandemic, but it's certainly not an exercise of democratic principles where we have free speech. This is calls to violence. This is racist and misogynistic. And I ask that everyone who has a platform uses it to call on people to observe the best practices promulgated by the CDC and to stop encouraging this behavior because it only makes it that much more precarious for us to try to re-engage our economy, which is what everyone says they want us to be able to do.
Governor Whitmer, this is Sarah. You've become the target of vicious, violent private Facebook groups that say you should be beaten and lynched. Some of those people plan to attend a rally at the state capitol this Thursday. And also this week, the Capitol Commission delayed a decision on banning firearms. Are you at all fearful for your personal safety?
Well, I would be not truthful if I said it didn't bother me. It certainly does. I'm fortunate that the Michigan State Police is an incredibly talented professional organization that oversees the security of myself and my family, and I'm grateful for that. But the fact of the matter is, Michigan Capitol is one of the few capitals in the country where people can come with bearing arms. And what we saw last week and what we anticipate seeing tomorrow is those arms being used to intimidate others, to being brandished in a way that is to strike fear into others, and that is not legal activity. And so this is a terribly concerning development in that we have legislators who are showing up to work wearing bulletproof vests. That is disenfranchising thousands of people in our state if their legislator doesn't feel safe enough to go to work and to do what their job is. No one should stand in our way of doing our jobs. And I respect people's right to dissent, but that does not extend to endangering other people's lives, and we take it very seriously.
Governor, it's Megan. Maybe it's the opinion of politicians that these protesters are just violent racists, but the Michigan State Legislature has actually filed a lawsuit against you, claiming that your state of emergency extension to May 28th is unlawful. Since they did not approve it, are you acting beyond your authority here? And do you understand why there are so many concerned citizens about government overreach at this point?
Of course. And you know what? I think that that is a robust debate that we should absolutely have. The fact of the matter is, every decision that I've made has been on the right side of the Constitution and always centered by epidemiology, facts, and science, and to save lives. Michigan's had a uniquely tough time with COVID-19. We are the 10th largest state by population in this country, and yet for many weeks, we had the third highest number of COVID-19 cases. We still are number 3 when it comes to the number of deaths in our country. And that's required that we take this seriously, that we take action. We've seen our numbers show that this action is working. We have undoubtedly saved lives. And anyone who is contributing to people not observing best practices and endangering others is undermining all of that work. We've taken these actions. We can't let all of the sacrifice that's been made be made in vain and watch people drop social distancing and go back to life as normal and run the risk of the very real risk of a second wave. Dr. Fauci's talked, quite a bit about the fact that this is a very real possibility. And we want to do everything we can to avoid that so that we can start to re-engage our economy in a really smart way that protects people's health. But Michigan's had an incredibly tough time with COVID-19. These actions we've taken have worked, and I'm confident that it's so long as we make decisions around the best science and the public health of our state, we are on the right side of my constitutional authority, and I'm going to keep doing my job.
We will be back with more with Governor Whitmer when we